What's going on, guys? We've got CleanSpark's mining update to look over. We're going to look at it on the chart. Things have been improving. We're also going to look at Bitcoin on the chart and some recent Bitcoin news. And let's not waste any time. CleanSpark is now sitting at 12,608 Bitcoin in their treasury, which is all self-mined. As said by Zach Bradford, they reached their mid-year target of 50 exahash per second, becoming the first Bitcoin miner to do that with fully self-operated infrastructure. There are other companies that have reached 50 exahash per second, but not by exclusively self-mining. CleanSpark's efficiency levels reached 16.5 joules per terahash, among the best in the business. And now that they've reached 50 exahash per second, they have a plan for another 10 exahash added on, working to expand infrastructure to do so. CleanSpark's Bitcoin treasury of 12,608 Bitcoin is number 7th among all publicly traded companies in the world. And they did sell some Bitcoin this month, and with their digital asset management group, they're able to sell most of their Bitcoin at 105,860 average, which is $446 above the VWAP for the same period. Corporations around the globe are embracing the value of a Bitcoin enhanced balance sheet. In fact, corporate Bitcoin acquisitions have outpaced ETF net inflows for the third consecutive quarter. You thought there was a lot of excitement on the spot Bitcoin ETFs? Companies left and right are announcing Bitcoin strategies, new treasuries, and we're actually going to talk about one today. Looking at their numbers, they produced 685 Bitcoin on the month, single day peak of 23.97 Bitcoin in a day, average daily production of 22.82 Bitcoin. And for the year of 2025, they produced 3,968 Bitcoin. They reached their 50 exahash target, although in the month they had an average operating hash rate of 45.3 exahash per second. The efficiency of 16.15 joules per terahash, I believe only being beat out by Iron stock. And that's mentioned here in their last mining update of 15 joules per terahash. Both CleanSpark and Iron are among the most efficient Bitcoin miners, and that is one of the most, if not the most important metric when looking at these Bitcoin miners. What is their efficiency? What is their joules per terahash? And moving on, CleanSpark has a deployed fleet of 241,227 machines, sold 578.51 Bitcoin on the month, and made 61,241,000 on those sales. Charts have definitely been improving on these Bitcoin miners. We finally have CleanSpark out of the 200 MA. It kept getting rejected pretty consistently. There was this consolidation in between the 50 and the 200 MA. We did break out over the 200 MA, and we are very close to a golden cross. This is where the 50, or the red line, crosses the 200. Or the green line. This is known as a golden cross, and it is typically very bullish, just as a death cross like we saw here is typically very bearish. I would expect the Bitcoin miners to continue their bit of a run here, especially considering what we have ahead. We do have the expectation of profitable quarters, and it makes a lot of sense when you look at Bitcoin and how it's performed in the quarters. And I've showed you guys this before, but this really shows a clear picture if you ask me. This was Q1, this was an unprofitable quarter for the Bitcoin miners, and it's not very surprising considering Bitcoin's performance. The Bitcoin miners took an unrealized loss on their Bitcoin holdings from that previous quarter to that quarter. And Q2 was a great quarter for Bitcoin, a good quarter for the Bitcoin miners. It started in the 80s, ended in the 100,000 area. This will show an unrealized gain on the Bitcoin holders. A good reason for these Bitcoin miners to keep going. Now, one thing Bitcoin needs to do is it still needs to break out of this pattern. It found resistance right at this previous high, this 110,006 area, found resistance literally right there, started pulling back. Seems to not be breaking out of this descending trend. We can't get a candle to close over. And right now, it's basically a matter of either breaking this resistance or breaking under from this 50 MA, which was previously held up. Bitcoin is going to do one of these things. And after it does one, I do think there is going to be a big move because of it. Either it's going to fail the 50 MA and start heading lower, fill out this pattern, or it's going to finally break this pattern, break out and have a candle close out of this resistance. And then we can go and try to take our all-time high out. A move is coming after this consolidation. We just have to wait and see. We do have some other news today, and I'll leave these linked down below in the description for you guys. But we have the first ever iOS game that integrates Bitcoin microtransactions, and Apple approved it. And this game was previously removed from the App Store in 2013 because of the Bitcoin integration. Now, more than 10 years later, it's back with Bitcoin microtransactions. Apple's approval of Bitcoin microtransactions in Sarutobi is a historic shift. By integrating Lightning directly into the game, we've created a frictionless experience that gives the players new ways to engage, spend, and earn value. And players can actually earn sats through in-game actions and use them to purchase upgrades, boosts within the app. Will we see more and more companies integrating this feature? Probably. That Sarutobi is basically laying the groundwork for other companies to then do the same thing. Speaking of companies doing the same thing, that's a fantastic transition. Many companies are announcing these Bitcoin strategies, adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Metaplanet is one of the OGs in this. They've been buying Bitcoin for months now, before it was cool for every company to do so. Metaplanet picks up an additional 2,205 Bitcoin, now reaching 15,555 Bitcoin on their treasury. And we have another company today, Remixpoint, raising $215 million to expand their Bitcoin treasury holdings, aiming to accumulate 3,000 Bitcoin. And this is being done with 39.9% dilution, basically creating another 55 million new shares. We'll see how the market reacts to this. It seems that companies are doing this, and as long as shareholders are okay with it, as long as it doesn't just absolutely tank everything, it seems like the shareholders see the bigger picture. They're okay with some dilution as long as it pays off in the long run. And their CEO is also going to be paid in Bitcoin. We have become even more convicted of Bitcoin's future, and this decision is the result of extensive discussions. We're going to continue to see this, continuing to see these companies evaluate Bitcoin, see if it's worth it from a company perspective to a shareholder perspective. And many, many more and new companies are going to start doing this. It becomes a cascading effect where those that don't do so are going to be missing out massively. But how do you guys feel about this CleanSpark news? How are you feeling about Bitcoin? Is it going to break that 50 MA and head lower? Or is it going to finally break out of this descending resistance and test all-time high? And what do you think about these Bitcoin treasury companies? Are we going to see more of them? Is it going to continue to accelerate until we're at the point where 10 companies a day are announcing these strategies? Keep in mind, we are getting later and later into the cycle if you follow the 4-year cycle, and it is going to be time to start taking profits, trimming, and preparing for crypto winter if you still believe in the 4-year cycle. So when things run up, don't get too euphoric. Be prepared. Don't get caught up in the hype. In my opinion, the time to buy has already passed us for the most part, and the time to sell is nearing. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.